Ah, appears to be live, but we'll make sure just for the hell of it and such. Um, yeah, you have to test. Good idea. Okay, probably have my speakers off. Turn those back on.
Yes, you have to test.
That's loud.
Good idea.
Shut up. Too loud. Too loud. But whatever. You can adjust the volume for yourselves. Um, Better loud than soft, I guess, because everybody bitches if your video's too quiet. Anyway, the frame rate is just horrendously bad, but yeah, you'll have to live with that. Yeah. So I figure I'll do a fake Sagan video probably. Because he's annoying. And yeah, that's a good enough reason right there. And then Tommy from the Bronx made a response video to one of fake Sagan's videos that was really stupid. So I figure I have to comment on it anyway. I won't play it, but I'll comment on it. The subject. But the other thing, I've decided, as I've always decide to do things, this fairness first party idea of mine that I've mentioned in the past. I mean, we really do need a third party, just because the Democrats are getting too silly. And they're just ruining we can't fix anything because they're just too silly. They're going to try to be as unelectable as possible on purpose. It's really stupid. Um, so really need a rational alternative, and but obviously it's probably not going to start here. It's going to require a better whatever person. But I figure I'll do my part, and other people can do whatever part they want in terms of participating and such. But eventually, I have just the bare bones of a website up, and I'll add content and features and whatnot, and see if something happens, and links and whatever. Somebody can write some crap and different, you know, it's all the subjects, the right to die. I mean, obviously, I'm not against some immigration, but open borders is idiotic. I am for people being able to be whatever they want to be, okay, especially in their own house. But I'm not necessarily for us having to put, accept people coming to work in a rabbit suit or something. No, there's a limit, and what else? But all the important economic subjects and all that kind of crap. So blah 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 blah. Pay the bills first, those kind of things. But anyway, so eventually I'll get to that kind of stuff. Let's see, where am I? Where am I? I gotta find Firefox in here somewhere. I know it's somewhere, hiding here somewhere. All right, so we'll go to the fake Sagan video. As I think that's where I'll spend most of my time. Something called The Eve of Destruction. And you can just, I haven't played it yet, but you can just smell where it's going. Hopefully it'll play. I mean, everything's running kind of slow on the old computer here. And I guess I'll make this stupid chat window visible so I can see it. Always on top. Iron shit. Okay, that's there. Maine just used instant runoff voting, well, whatever, which helped a Dem defeat a Republican or whatever. Third party vote didn't result in a split vote. Yes, well, good, but I mean, it's from what I understand, they can't use it in the state. They can only use it for federal elections, but it's just this is something that should already be done. The Democratic Party should be for these things, and they don't do them. So obviously, when they had the Congress and the Senate and all that shit, they could have got this shit done. They didn't do it because they don't care about anything. They just talk like they care. They don't really care to fix anything or do anything rational. So anyway, someone said today they feel so blessed from God, whatever that means. Meanwhile, other relatives die of cancer Yes, well, Piro was just doing a thing about his dog who just died, and it was just so freaking sappy. He said some silly shit like, well, it's not like, puking up blood for 3 months is all that bad. I mean, they're so glib. I mean, people are so glib. I mean, it really is. The glibness is, I have to emphasize that more and more because it's just the glibness of people about things. you know it's like, oh yeah, okay, well, I hope you get it. I hope you get what you glibly talk about. I hope it happens to you, fucker. Oh, I hate this shit. People are just so creepy. So what else? Is there any other I don't really have news on my situation yet. I don't know whether I'm, it's looking like pretty much 80% probable that I have to move, because the house is falling down anyway, and they don't seem to want to do anything about anything. So, I just don't know how that's going to work out, because I don't move well. I don't, especially the place I'm going to have to move has got, it's, houses and houses, just little houses popped on top of each other. I'm going to go insane, I think. Oh, you're in Florida now. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I like Florida, but that's too big a move. Too big a distance. I'm having doubts I can do the 20 miles I need to do, but whatever. It's just anyway, don't even want to talk about it. It's disgusting, horrible. Maybe the death of me, but we'll see. So anyway, fake Sagan's going on, blah blah blah. So he doesn't say much in this beginning here, this eve of destruction crap. I don't know, blah 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 blah. But he started saying some wacky shit around here, so let's just see what he does. Oh yeah, I did get the potato chips. Thank you. Yes. Been having one bag a day. Well, 1.5 maybe. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you. Very nice. I was wondering. I said, I wonder who sent this. I wonder if this video is going to play.
People in the concentration camps.
All right.
And imprison men just for being male.
Can you hear that? At this point, imprison men just for being male. So this is just such a whiny, bullshit, in the sense that, there's no, what is your problem with women? I mean, you can make contracts, you can do all, they're not gonna, they very rarely beat you up and very rarely kill you. So this is coming from a guy who, beats women. I mean, it's just, I just don't understand this shit. Anyway, let's try some more. Can you hear this?
We have an even playing field. We just don't have equality of outcomes.
So it's not an even playing field. Again, you're an admitted, whatever you call that, extortionist. What's the word for when somebody uses physical violence? I mean, you threaten them into submission. Do it my way or else, bitch. Obviously you've played the game that way, and to call that, oh yeah, we fixed all the problems. Oh, I mean, all the little subtle things. Again, the burden of having kids on the woman, the burden of having a period on the woman. What's the other one I always bring up? They don't have a penis, for fuck's sake. And what are you whining about? What is your problem? It's so you think you're in a concentration camp. Women are putting you in a concentration camp. I mean, it's just it's so silly.
So Friedrich Nietzsche once said,
fuck. This is not going well.
Nietzsche once said that in times of peace, the soldier makes war upon himself. And of course, that's what...
Well, I guess I should slow this down a little, because I do have it sped the fuck up too much. Oh, well, speed it up just a little.
The left left is doing. Turning on their own, eating itself. No matter how liberal you are, you're not liberal enough. In fact, I would say you're probably more likely to encounter.
Damn, let me reduce the video quality. Maybe that'll save me here. Sorry, computer's failing to cooperate. See if there's something I can get rid of here. Oh, that we can get rid of. I don't want to get rid of that. I don't want to get rid of that. Yeah. All right, so let's just try getting rid of this HD crap. We don't need that. Let's just give me some 480, please, or some 480. We don't need no crap. All right, now play the video, please.
You are, you're not liberal enough.
So again, just horseshit. I mean, it's all about different subjects, but yes, clearly there's a problem in politics. And so even if you're going to be a conservative, just because, say, you believed in conservative economics, you'd have the liability of these wacko Christians who are trying to, close abortion clinics. And then you have the wacko neocons who are trying to, start wars in the Middle East. So obviously politics is always a little bit dirty. But clearly, yes, the Liberal Party has never been this, batshit insane. I mean, they just, they have no sensible plans at all. I mean, not a single sensible alternative proposal.
In fact, I would say you're probably more likely to encounter accusations of racism and sexism as a liberal than you are as a conservative. If only perhaps because that's expected from conservatives. So the left doesn't want to waste their breath calling me a Nazi when they can accuse one another of being Nazis.
Oh, come on. Why doesn't this thing work?
And when faced...
Jesus, can't even use the keyboard. I mean, it's one failure of Linux. Let's see, if conservatives wanted to conserve, okay, yes, right. Their names don't mean anything, but clearly liberal doesn't mean anything either, because liberal just means bow to the deviants, and the Mexicans, which only 3% overhead. Yes, yeah. Well, obviously they don't want to bow to any kind of social healthcare system. So the more practical and functional the healthcare system would be, the more they would hate it, because then it'd be hard to get rid of. So if they can give you a broken healthcare system, they're much happier, because that way everybody will say, hey, yeah, it does cost too much.
With an indefensible, untenable position, an ideology that's rapidly collapsing in on itself, the only option is to silence the speech of the opposition.
Yeah, so he's going to complain about Alex Jones again. Again, it's not the speech of the opposition. It's the speech of insane rhetoric. I mean, rhetoric that's just way out of bounds. I mean, these false accusations, truther crap. If you have any, you got to have some kind of standard somewhere. And I don't like that corporations are the ones being able to apply the standards. I wish as a society we had real rules against being a liar. And Alex Jones is a liar, and clearly, he knows this crap he says about people isn't true. He knows the stories he gets aren't true, and he says it anyway because it makes him money, and that's disgusting. And I think if you had a fair trial to see if that's exactly what he did, and then you could convict him, and you could rightfully say, well, you don't have a right to use these public sidewalks if you're going to use them to be a liar. That's not what free speech is to protect. It's not to protect lies. Not at all.
They can't withstand a debate.
More just complete bullshit. We'd love a rational debate. It doesn't have something to do with, again, just nonsense rhetoric that you just keep spouting because ignorant people can't know better, like calling something a death tax or saying, you're taxing my income twice, when that's a ludicrous statement. To be taxing, you're taxing the income for the first time. It's income. It's money being made on money. We're not taxing the original investment. We're taxing the income on the investment. I mean, you're the people, you just can't use an honest argument.
So the only option is to shut speech down. But throughout all of this, I keep hearing the words of the alternative hypothesis, Ryan Falk, saying that
name dropping. I just hate name droppers. Like, oh, I'm supposed to know who Ryan Falk is. Oh, yeah. Too cool.
The values that the United States was founded on were kind of bullshit to begin with. Nobody believes in free speech. Constitutionalism is ultimately self-defeating because the left doesn't respect the Constitution, so why should the right? And, they just hate your skin, white man. That's all this is really about. That's all it's ever been about. So don't handcuff yourself with high-minded idealism and notions of fairness. And I'm not quite sure I'm ready to agree with him just yet. But I'm afraid I may be getting there. Because I look around and I don't see a lot of real Americans left. And to be honest, I was surprised by how much pushback I didn't get.
No real Americans left. I mean, what a line. Okay, so apparently this guy can just get into this room and do this shit, and it doesn't matter how many times I block him, he just keeps doing this shit. So yeah, YouTube is just too cool. I mean, why do they do this? I mean, why do they let people do this? I mean, I just don't understand. Can there be any justification? I mean, there's software engineers, professionals. They can't handle this. All right, so there's just no point. Okay, so I get it. So here, Fake Sagan's complaining about free speech, and yet here his people are. This is his type, I'm sure. Little racist remarks he's making. Yeah, well, I don't know what it is. I mean, obviously you can't do anything, so what the fuck? There's nothing you can do. Yeah, I mean, I have this potential spam is supposed to be blocked. I mean, YouTube sucks so bad. I mean, what is this horse shit? All right, so just a total waste of time. I don't really see that they're different accounts. They just won't block them. Well, I don't know how to block the phase from here, but let's see what these little choices they give you are. Toggle timestamps, send feedback. Yeah, that's hilarious. Send feedback. Isn't that cute? Let's see what manage moderators does. Let's see if it gives me any kind of anything here. Approved users, hidden users, blocked words. Okay, let's try some more blocked words then. Paste. All right. Yeah, what a waste of fucking time. You ought to kill these people. I mean, really, what's the point? Just kill them, YouTube. We shouldn't have to do it. You're letting them run free. Well, that didn't work. So, let's see. There's so many words that you won't be able to type that there won't be any point, right? I'll just block all the words, and then nobody can say anything because I have all the words blocked. Yeah, no, they're still letting them through. I don't know why. Let's see. We'll try putting them in a timeout, see if that does anything. Nope. All right. Guess there's just no point. All right, so there probably isn't any point in me doing a live room then. It's just really no point. I'll just make a response video instead. Because, what's the point? I mean, YouTube is just such a piece of shit. It's just so silly. Why bother? What the fuck? I mean, it's just totally retarded. Just let them have the medium. We don't get to use it. They have it. It's theirs. It's so stupid. Well, anyway, Joe, when he comes back, then I'll leave, I guess.
On my immigration videos, I did get a lot of pushback, but not as much as I would have expected. And nobody seems to have rationally questioned why I made those videos. And in fact, I got some ridiculous theories. I think one guy in the comment sections of one of those videos said, "Are you married to a Mexican woman or something? You have a Mexican girlfriend?" That was the best explanation that somebody could.
Yeah, well, see, he thinks there's some sort of American principle that says let in as many immigrants as possible, when we know that was never really a principle. We know that even when the Chinese came over here to do the railroad, everybody hated them. They shot them. They did all kinds of things, treat them like absolute shit. And we know now that we have a more advanced civilization where we can't just put people in shanty towns, and we can't just hide them over here in the corner. And so it is a little different game because they get lots of health care, lots of health services. It's a whole different game, immigration. So, I mean, your principle is still crap.
Is that I have some vested interest. Well, I do. And my vested interest is the destruction of the United States. I know that a demographic shift will fracture this country, and I think that's probably what needs to happen for the good of the world. I look at what a tire fire the American left has turned into, and it makes a guy like Richard Spencer look completely reasonable and rational by comparison. And leave it to the left in America to make literal Nazis look like the same choice by comparison. But really, I know they aren't when I analyze it objectively. The alt-right ideology is to defend whiteness, which is a concept they can't even define. They've never been able to define it, and they never will be able to define it because it's a bullshit concept to begin with. I've encountered people here on YouTube who define whiteness as only pertaining to people who are Anglo-Saxon and Protestant, which means that I myself am not white, and I would probably be rounded up by right-wing death squads and dropped out of a helicopter when the inevitable purity spiraling begins, which it would in fairly short order. And not only that, but the alt-right in the United States hilariously seems to have chosen as its champion the most Zionist and pro-Jewish president in the history of the United States, which is unbelievable. Now, they throw the term cuckold around all the time. You want to talk about cucked? The definition of cucked is a Nazi whose Führer is a Jew lover. That's what it means to truly be cucked.
Oh, jeez. So anyway, it's just funny to listen to. I mean, I can't pay much attention because I'm sitting there trying to find out how to block this fucker. but whatever. Yeah, you have to put the person, you have to put, actually, to put a moderator in, I have to go to your channel. I mean, that's how much of a pain in the ass it is. So I'll let Mr. Clownface do it, right? So I'll click on, if I click on his icon, what's going to happen? Nothing. Okay. Well, that was special. Yeah, you can't even click on names in the chat. Oh, it's just so useless. All right, never mind.
That's an awfully hot coffee pot. Should I drop it on Trump? Probably not. But let's see. We recognize Jerusalem as the true capital of Israel. And who was his first presidential pardon? Was it Dylan Roof? Did he?
Oh dear. So he's worried about who he pardoned, whether they're Jewish or not. Like this could possibly make any difference. But whatever. I mean, it's just, it's just he's a conspiracy theory nut. It's all it comes down to. If you're going to say something about people's ethnicity and all this stuff, and yes, they're definitely tribal. Okay, so Jews often take care of Jews. Yes, they do that. But blacks take care of blacks, and Mexicans take care of Mexicans, and Russians take care of Russians, and all that kind of stuff happens. So it's gang warfare all over the place. But the other thing about Jews, even if if you're going to accept your bigoted understanding of them, is they are kind of selfish. So, they're just, what's theirs is theirs.
His sentence, no. It was Shalom Rubashkin, a Jewish white-collar criminal from right here in Iowa, by the way, found guilty of trafficking methamphetamine and exploiting child labor, who was serving a well-deserved sentence in a minimum security.
Big Sagan's in Iowa? I thought he was in Louisiana or something. Anyway, it's funny.
Resort prison exclusively for Jews, where all the meals are kosher. And that wasn't good enough. This guy had to walk free, at least according to our esteemed president. And that is the Don, the Fuhrer of the alt-right. What was it Richard Spencer said? Hail Trump, hail our people, hail victory. Hail Trump, hail our people. Trump, the president who's currently residing over legislation that would make it a imprisonable offense to protest against aid for Israel. This is the Israeli Anti-Boycott Act, which is currently making its way through the House and Senate right now. And have no doubt that he will sign this into law. I know he'll sign it into law. The president who's raised aid to Israel to levels.
I bet you it won't. I bet it will never get to his desk. You can't protest organizations that you think are evil? Sure you can.
Hitherto not seen, and that's saying something for the U.S. And that is the champion of the alt-right. Yeah, so even if I were a Nazi, I don't think I'd be an American alt-right Nazi. Because it seems to me that their position is every bit as untenable and indefensible as that of the American left.
So why would you even talk about being a Nazi? I mean, what's the point? So even if I was going to be ludicrously stupid and have moronic bigotries, it's so stupid. Are you really that afraid of Jewish people? I mean, they scare you that much?
I think if there's a hope for civilization and a future for humanity, it's got to be a Russian future. And you can laugh at that all you want. Oh, their demographic problems are just as bad as ours. No, they aren't. No, they aren't. I will take immigrants from Central Asia and the Caucasus over the minorities in the United States any day. I'll make that trade all damn day long. Oh, their divorce rates. Oh, the AIDS rate. Yeah, every other.
I'd say, please play that again.
For civilization and a future for humanity. It's got to be a Russian future. And you can laugh at that all you want. Oh, their demographic problems are just as bad.
How did we jump that far? I didn't do that.
A minimum security resort prison exclusively for Jews, where all the meals are kosher. And that wasn't good enough. This guy had to walk free, at least according to our esteemed president. And that is the dawn, the furor of the alt-right. What was it Richard Spencer said? Hail Trump, hail our people, hail victory. Hail Trump, hail our people. Trump, the president who's currently resigning.
I can't get any of these things to work. I don't have any moderators, so I don't think I made a bad moderator choice, because I don't have any.
Fighting over legislation that would make it a imprisonable offense to protest against aid for Israel. This is the Israeli Anti-Boycott Act, which is currently making its way through the House and Senate right now. And have no doubt that he will sign this into law. I know he'll sign it into law. The president who's raised aid to Israel to levels hitherto not seen, and that's saying something.
Oh, where's the evidence for any of this? Trump has raised money for Israel. Okay.
Something for the U.S.
So it's kind of ironic then. All the Jews must be on your side then, right? So the Jews are alt-right. Interesting.
And that is the champion of the alt-right. Yeah, so even if I were a Nazi, I don't think I'd be an American alt-right Nazi. Because it seems to me that their position is every bit as untenable and indefensible as that of the American left.
So this makes a lot of sense. So the alt-right is really just good guys. Yeah, they're not warmongering, whatever the whole, make the rich more preposterously richer thing.
I think if there's a hope for civilization and a future for humanity, it's got to be a Russian future.
All right, so this is like a laughable statement, right? Because Russia's basically Mexico now. I mean, Russia's just, it's got lost. I mean, it's the oligarchy owns it, and that's it. I mean, it's all just a bunch of rich families. They own the politics. They own everything. It's so funny because, people used to, the KGB will kill you. I bet you Putin has killed more people than KBG even imagined killing.
And you can laugh at that all you want. Oh, their demographic problems are just as bad as ours. No, they aren't. No, they aren't. I will take immigrants from Central Asia and the Caucasus over the minorities in the United States any day. I'll make that trade all damn day long. Oh, their divorce rates. Oh, the AIDS rate. Yeah, every other canard you can imagine. Whatever. Compared to the United States, I think they stand a better shot.
Well, obviously their countries are shitholes. That's why they come here. So obviously they're not doing anything too brilliant if they've already soiled their own country and basically need to come here because they've, pissed and pooed the whole thing to a shithole. Just a fact.
If for no other reason, then Russian civilization still has a lot of what Oswald Spengler would call like civilizational energy. Whereas the founding.
Okay, so obviously this guy, Jewish and proud, he's really not Jewish. So this is another one of these fakers, these liars. They just, these fucking spammy, trolly, pot stirring, fake newsers. You know, you're just fake news. Nobody would go, I'm Jewish and proud. Nobody would take that screen name, especially a Jew. It's just a joke.
Myths that the United States was founded upon no longer hold any meaning for anyone. And
well, look, it was founded on a lot of backward circumstances. I mean, the whole slave thing, the women didn't even have the vote, and they're just property. Lots of backward reasoning still going on when America was founded. So obviously the Constitution might not be a perfect document. Maybe it needs a little work.
They're now widely seen as just that, myths.
Well, yeah, it was a myth. I mean, the whole war was a war over not too expensive tea, but cheaper tea. It was a trade war. The whole thing was just really about, we don't want to pay the man who owns the place, so we'll take it. More fake people, ban white people, yeah, fake people, fake shit. You can't do anything honest. Yeah, I'm fighting to preserve the way things was when everybody was a fucking liar. Yeah, sure you are. Oh, man.
First, the national myth dies, and then the nation dies.
No, you just make a couple of strategic mistakes. The nation dies because everybody got caught up in this, I don't know, this service economy bullshit. And they bought this line that you're all going to do fine if you just rent and lease. Okay, you never own anything. And the rich will take care of you. And, they're really stupid to buy that crap. And, we've got all this huge debt, and the debt is really made out of a real liability that can't possibly be paid. So it will come home to roost, and it will cause hyperinflation, and all that shit will happen like we never even learned from the past at all. Didn't learn a damn thing. But those are just mistakes. Big stupid errors. There's no big philosophy behind those errors. Those are just the errors of selfish assholes.
I had hoped I wouldn't still be here in the United States to watch things spiral out of control, but I think I will be. And for the life of me,
I don't know why you think the spiral is going to be better somewhere else. I mean, it's going to get ugly everywhere.
After all these years of knowing Ryan Falk, the alternative hypothesis, I still can't figure out what that guy's endgame is. He no longer considers himself a white nationalist. Now he's some kind of civic nationalist, but what kind? Because he despises constitutionalists. What kind of civic nationalist are you, Ryan Falk? I'm hoping you're...
Oh, I didn't know this was a personal video to some guy named Ryan.
You're going to reveal that, because I'd just be delighted to know the answer. Somehow I doubt he's a Russian nationalist like I am. Anyway, the concept of free speech is a joke. The left doesn't believe.
Yeah, the concept that free speech was ever to protect lying is a joke. That's the joke. Lying was never to be protected. That's the whole yelling fire in a theater. It's perfectly okay to yell fire in a theater if there's a fucking fire, or if you sincerely believe there's a fire. But it's not okay if you're just doing it to kill people, to be a liar, to take money, to steal all the change that falls out of their pocket after you yell fire. If that's all you're doing, then yeah, fuck you. The First Amendment isn't there for that. I mean, you can't put any qualifications on it. Free speech means lying's okay? No, it's not.
Even the right certainly doesn't believe in it. And I don't think I believe in it anymore. Earlier tonight, to get my mind off things, I decided to take in a Hollywood movie. I went to see Overlord. Here's a spoiler. It sucks.
Well, it sounds like it would suck. I mean, come on. What the fuck could that be about? Overlord. I mean, that just sounds like that sounds way too comic strip. Overlord? The Overlord's coming. What the fuck is an Overlord? I mean, you can't even make any sense out of that. I mean, that's like titling a freaking movie Butt Hair. I mean, that's just it. You know it's gonna suck.
But it has an 85% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Why?
Well, who cares? I mean, Rotten Tomatoes is probably run by a bunch of rotten, little putsy, whatever, computer geeks or something. What do they know about reality?
Well, it has stereotypical Nazi characters that are just as bad.
If Hitler won, we wouldn't be in this mess. I mean, it's just a hilarious joke of a statement. What do you think? There would have been fiscal discipline forever and ever if Hitler would have won. There would have never been any more borrowed money. Yeah, right. Sure, there wouldn't have been.
This bad indeed. No moral ambiguity, no nuance, no shades of gray, just pure adultery.
So you don't like shades of gray. You don't like any of this ambiguity. You love pigeonholing everything. So what the fuck are you complaining about? A movie that's no pigeonhole. I mean, no absence of a pigeonhole. Like, let's just scapegoat and pigeonhole.
Evil. And the protagonist is a virtuous, heroic African-American who has a love interest who's white. So
this is a movie you really should have avoided, okay? I mean, right, if you knew anything at all about the movie, right, you could see the poster out in the front, you should have known, oh, no, I ain't going to watch no movie with one of them jungle bunnies fucking one of our good white women.
Of course, it would be anathema to the career of any film critic to give a negative review to this movie, despite the fact that the pacing was off, the character development was horrible, the plot was hackneyed, and even the special effects were lame.
And probably didn't have, Sidney Poitier in it. Yeah, right.
And they say that we're not living in the end times. And they say the handwriting isn't on the wall. This country is in a...
Yes, it is in a mess. But you seem to think that the mess is that we've given too much concern to what? Homos and trannies and Jews. I would concede that this whole getting involved in the Middle East crap is half the Jewish problem, is half the reason for that. The oil and the Jews, but we didn't have to make that big a mess. I mean, it wasn't like you had to make a colossal mess out of it. You could have just made a little mess.
The death spiral. And it won't stand much longer.
Well, it's not going to stand much longer, not for the reasons you think. It's not going to stand much longer because we've borrowed an insane amount of money. And nobody owns any equity in anything, really. The FDC insurance is already gone. I mean, doesn't exist. So all these people who think, I'm going to get my money back, I'm going to get my money back. No, you'll get your money back 6 months later. And in those 6 months, the government's going to print about $2 trillion more, which means your money back will be about 33 cents on a dollar if you're lucky. And that's if you're really lucky to get your money back. So, but that's going to be the doom. The doom is going to be just a classic economic bust.
Keep faith.
All right, let's see if he's got anything newer. So I guess I want to talk a little bit about He did a video on Saint Jude, and then Tommy from the Bronx did a response video.
Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, you may not be able to tell.
I really hate this autoplay shit. I just hate it. All right. No, it's his last video. Okay. Oh, he did a Q&A thingy. So, 37 seconds. That's not a proper Q&A thing. I don't know when he's going into hospital and such. I do feel bad for him, but it's hard to feel bad for the glib. So, go ahead, be stoic. So I won't bother feeling bad for you then. Because nothing bothers you because you're a man. But anyway, well, Gandhi was an idiot. Didn't even educate his kids. I mean, wanted everybody to be a rug maker. Just horrible. Ugh. So anyway, he did a video on Saint Jude. Saint Jude kills kids. Well, maybe we'll play that. It's just got to be stupid.
Saint Jude's kills kids is the hashtag that.
Yeah, well, it does kill kids, and that's the sad truth is it does, and it tortures them, and for this medical research bullshit. And I mean, it's disgusting that people think this is just fine. Kids don't have any say in it. They're just laboratory animals essentially, and we'll just pretend we're gonna cure something we can't cure, and we'll just torture this poor fucking kid. And I don't know why people think this makes sense. It's just like the stupid feral cat thing. There's only so much money available to fix the problem, right? The empathetic people say, "Oh, look at the poor animals. Oh, this is terrible." So they give money, and all that money goes to veterinaries and town workers and other dopes who trap the animals and do whatever they can do. But I mean, it's a ton of money just wasted on surgeries to throw the animal back on the street. And I don't know why anybody thinks that makes sense. Why does that make sense? You have the animal under anesthesia. What harm can it do to the animal not to wake up? I mean, do you really think you can hurt the animal? Do you really think they're going to cure cancer or something? What is a cat and a typical cat going to do that's going to be so magnificent, except, kill other animals? What's it going to do except go out on the street and die? And we have this terrible weather, especially here, and this climate sucks. I mean, these animals shouldn't be out there in the winter struggling to make a living. I mean, it's just disgusting. Most of their kittens die. I mean, it's just disgusting. And why do people think this is a great idea? Oh yeah, let's no, we need to fix the problem, not do this nonsense. But all the money is wasted. And this whole St. Jude thing, take the money and provide the best you can for the kids and give them some perspective and an ability to gracefully exit. Don't sit there and torture them. Oh. But, at minimum, there should be a clear, aggressive effort to make sure the kid isn't, if the kid wants to say, yes, torture me some more, fine. But there's got to be an aggressive effort not to be coercing children into accepting being tortured. Because they certainly aren't going to understand, how little chance there is of success and how very bad it can all go. It's disgusting.
Should be trending, not the Wall Street Journal kills kids. Now, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, let me just give a quick recap, but bear in mind, this is kind of late-breaking stuff, so I don't claim to know all the details. Apparently, there was a channel here on YouTube called Killstream that specializes in free speech absolutism. And they host live streams where they interview a bunch of people from all over the political spectrum that are...
You obviously can't have free speech absolutism, because that would be speech that could be incredibly, where you're making solicitations to 5-year-olds or something. I mean, all kinds of weird speech could be absolutely protected. No, it can't be absolutely protected. And then when you get into the speech argument about art, so everything's okay. There's no obligation to make any safe space. I would love there to be I love us to be able to have a rational world. The internet should be like that. Like the people who want to have secure emails and just not be liars and not be cheaters and trolls, they should be able to go through an internet that has a higher standard, because they like accountability and they like being responsible and they like the benefits of that, which is they don't have to be spammed and cheated. And then leave the garbage internet to the assholes who want to try to steal money from each other.
A little bit more controversial in nature. But naturally, they've been associated with the alt-right, because you can talk to a radical leftist and talk to a radical right-winger, and you'll be associated with the radical right-winger, right? It's just guilt by association. Nobody cares if you interview somebody from Antifa. If you're interviewing a Nazi, you're a Nazi. Anyway,
I don't see that correlation at all. Blah, 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 blah. Just sounds like whining.
They apparently did this charity event called HealStream, and they raised a bunch of money for Saint Jude's medical research for kids with cancer. Well, our old friends, the failing Wall Street Journal, I guess the boost that they got from calling PewDiePie a Nazi has worn off, and they've come back to their old cash cow YouTube for more attention, to try to breathe a little bit more life into the corpse of their outmoded.
Oh, I guess he just can't get to the point. So he titles the video, Saint Jude kills kids. But he's not going to talk about that subject.
Media paradigm, which belongs on the dustbin of history. And if you don't know who the Wall Street Journal is, you are the future, because the time is coming when nobody will.
Anybody who pays attention to newspapers anymore, fine, go ahead. You got lots of free time, I guess. But yes, the whole idea of what news is just gone. There's no such thing as news anymore. There's, it's just the freak show. So 90% of what's on the news is just about the freak show. What did the stupidest asshole in America do today? And if they can't find the stupidest asshole in America, they find the stupidest asshole somewhere else in the world. And they just, list the by stupid, first, second, third stupidest thing. It has nothing to do with anything real. It's just all crap. Just absolutely useless. Waste of time.
Especially if they keep doing things like this. Well, apparently, the Wall Street Journal reached out to both YouTube and St. Jude's and said, we're getting ready to release this hit piece about the alt-right on YouTube and how they're using the Chat Plus feature in the live streams to raise funds.
All right, so this is going to be bizarre. So apparently he thinks, so St. Jude must have not taken money from some alt-right hater guy who was raising money for St. Jude, you talking, nasty stuff. Yeah. Boogery language.
Well, YouTube responded by banning Killstream, and I believe that channel is gone. I haven't actually checked, even though it only would have taken me 2 seconds.
Right, so let's not bother with facts. Let's just, let's just make up the story as best we can. Fine, great, pretty typical. That's why no point in listening to the news. The thing you got to do is you got to go find certain things out for yourself. You have to go find out how to find out how much money's in the FD. I mean, the Fed accounts, and then find out this and see what kind of bills the Congress is actually, passing and whatnot, and see what different politicians are saying, but not versus what they're doing. I don't know. It's just, but yeah, asking reporters to tell you the truth, forget about it. Ugh, it's like them Young Turks is just this. I mean, they are just got the ads shoved so far up their ass now. They're just about making fucking money. Hey, it's a club. It's not a news agency. It's a fucking club.
What can I say? And St. Jude's responded. I believe an administrator from St. Jude's released a statement saying, we never had any intention of taking money from the alt-right. We never had any intention of taking donations from those guys. Let me signal our virtue loud and clear. We're progressive. We don't have anything to do with Pepe the Frog. No. We don't want your money. Well, listen. The Wall Street Journal It's just doing what the Wall Street Journal does, and you can't really blame a snake for being a snake. They're dying. All right, this is like the last death throes. This is like a drowning man clinging to a piece of wreckage from a sinking ship, just trying to keep his head above water. That's what the Wall Street Journal is doing, and you can't really blame the Wall Street Journal for doing what the Wall Street Journal would do. Okay, but the ones I blame in all of this are Saint Jude's. If you're in the business of researching cures for terminally ill children, you
yes, researching cures for terminally ill children while they're doing the research on terminally ill children, treating them like laboratory rats. We'll pay the parents to let us experiment on their children.
You better take money from whoever the fuck is willing to give it to you.
Why? So the very thing you're saying that nobody has anymore, which are principles and some sort of integrity and some sort of consistency, right? So it's called Saint Jude's. It has a certain air of a religiosity about it and certain kind of principles, and thou shalt not slander and thou shalt not be duty heads and all this kind of stuff. And so why should they take money from Satan? I mean, that just doesn't make any sense.
If the Islamic State cuts you a check, you better fucking cash that check. If the government of North...
So it just doesn't matter. Blood money's okay. So if the mobsters give you money or somebody else gives you money, it's okay because it doesn't matter that they got it by raping and pillaging and killing or doing some other nasty act. Nobody should have any principles. I think exactly the opposite. People should have principles and they should demonstrate some integrity now and then.
North Korea sends you money, you better fucking take it. I don't care who it is. If the devil himself gives you money for cancer research, you better fucking take it, because when you say no, you're saying no on behalf of terminally ill kids. And this is the most disgusting virtue.
You're trying to send a donation, getting an error. Is there an issue with your PayPal account? Well, I tried to switch the accounts actually, and then I had to switch it back. So I don't know which site you're using the link from. Do Not God or Draft Physics, I think, has a link on it too. But anyway, one of them should work. Yeah, it should work. I mean, PayPal, I mean, it's all such nonsense. I mean, for tax reasons, I can't really accept money, and so I wanted in an account that could be taxed, but because I don't want to file a tax return. But anyway, so and they just wouldn't let me. They were just idiots. I mean, you can't just put a bank account on the account in simple way. They need to call a phone number. It's the wrong phone number. It's an answering machine. I mean, just little logistical bullshit. But they have no capacity to deal with any circumstance that's outside of this little programmed mechanism. And it's just stupid. So anyway, so I just, I haven't been able to get it the way I want it. Let's see, maintaining a society fueled by lack of standards. Yes, well, I'm just saying, is it stupid for me to talk about the fact that I think there's certain things that are the cause of the effect, and that if we just fix a couple of things, then there's no effect? These are preventable mistakes.
Signaling at the expense of the needy that I've seen since 2010, when the New York City legislature passed equal protection laws for gay city employees that included a provision that any private contractor with a contract with the city of New York had to offer healthcare benefits to same-sex partners of their employees.
And that's a perfectly fair thing. So even if it wasn't just for homosexuals, even if it was any citizens who decided to cohabitate, they really should have the same advantages as married people. Why shouldn't they get the same advantages? Why should marriage be some exclusive club where we get all these privileges? That's just a holdover from the Christians saying we own the country. So again, what are you defending? It's a perfectly rational thing to say that we all should be able to get into our own style of relationships, and they should be treated as equal relationships, not unequal relationships. So fuck you, fake Sagan. Bigot, asshole, unfairness imposer.
Well, the Salvation Army got so pissed off that they threatened to shut down every soup kitchen in the city.
And, well, they should get rid of that whole crap anyway, because really you shouldn't force poor homeless people to be, have religion shoved on them just so they can get a sandwich. That shouldn't be the price they pay for a sandwich, is to be propagandized on.
They said, fuck the homeless, the hungry, the needy. Fuck the foster kids that we work with. Fuck these people with HIV over here. We don't like fags. We're Christian and we don't like fags. So fuck the poor, fuck the needy. We're going to take it out on you because of what the New York City legislature did. And by the way, I really think that's the perfect example to bring up in this instance, because that's a case.
Yeah, I think what they did is their right to do that. But I'm saying right from the start that we shouldn't have religious kooks providing social services.
Of somebody on the right of the political spectrum doing something like this. Whereas with St. Jude's, now it's more like it's coming from the left. And on this channel, I truly am impartial. I guess people are starting to figure that out because I got so much backlash with the immigration issue. A lot of people seem to be really shocked. We thought you were alt-right, Chris. We thought you were one of us. I let you believe what you wanted to believe. I'm not fucking alt-right. I agree with a lot of the things the alt-right says, a lot of the things they say, and I disagree with other things too. But I think for my motherfucking self, because I'm not an NPC.
Yeah, but clearly your sympathies seem to be you voted for Trump. I mean, what did you? I mean, you got exactly what you voted for. I mean, he basically told you what he was and what he was for, and that was for rich people. So you voted for the rich to get richer. There wasn't anything else he was going to do. You know, I mean, did you really think? Well, let's say you didn't think he was going to build a fence. Do you really think the fence would work?
Like you think for your damn selves. I'm not gonna let anybody fucking tell me what to say.
So all this poop law, Saint Jude kills kids, over the fact that they just said, look, we didn't intend to take money from alt-right kooks. Oh, that's the big drama here. We're surprised that they don't really want to be associated with like the Ku Klux Klan or something. I mean, wow. Amazing. And then Tommy from the Bronx had to chime in on this video. So Tommy from the Bronx made a response video to this piece of nothing, this non-news event.
I'm not going to let the Wall Street Journal tell me what to say, and I'm not going to let 4chan tell me what to say either. But the point is, St. Jude's kills kids. That should be that's your hashtag. It's not WSJ kills kids.
Yeah, well, they torture kids, so I would just rewrite it. St. Jude tortures children. That's what it does. In a futile, in just a futile denial of reality. The fact is, you're going to die, and all that you can really do is decide how many times you're going to die and how badly you're going to die. But that's all there is. And we don't get to do any of that stuff. And kids shouldn't be presumed too stupid to say, well, I didn't think much of this game anyway. So, yeah, I'll just take the passive way out. Thank you.
St. Jude kills kids. You're virtue signaling at the expense of sick children. It's fucking disgusting. I can't believe this shit. I can't fucking believe it.
So, I mean, it's just a bizarre statement. I mean, it's like, I personally don't want money from the alt-right. Obviously, they're not going to give me any. Okay. But if they could figure out some gimmick where somehow it helped them to say they gave money to me, I would be perfectly rational to say, I don't want to be giving you any right to say you gave money to Saint Jude or to Inmendham or to the Salvation Army or to whatever. I don't want the taint of you being able to say somehow you did a good deed by helping me. Fuck that.
You don't want to be associated with the alt-right and you're turning down money that could help sick people. I can't fucking stand this shit. It reminds me of the Salvation Army thing in New York.
So again, so he thinks the politicians were wrong to enforce a principle that there's equality in these relationships. And then he thought the Salvation Army was wrong for having their religious objection because they think homos are sinners. Which still doesn't make much sense because what, did they think they could deny a homosexual homeless person a sandwich because what, did they put him in a special, you have to sit over there or something table, a homo table? And so why would it be wrong for them to have principles? And as stated, we really shouldn't have people with all obvious biases providing social services. If you're going to provide social services, you should be able to sign the statement saying, I understand what secular is, I understand what government's responsibilities are, and I'm fully aware of those responsibilities, and I'll be fully compliant to the law. If they're not willing to sign that statement, then they shouldn't be allowed to do it in the first place. I mean, the Salvation Army wouldn't be alive without its job that its government's given it. You know, the government is essentially keeping it alive by giving it a job.
Fuck me running. Keep it fake.
I don't believe I will. Just to spite you, I think I'll keep it honest and rational as possible. Let's see if there's anybody else on here that's interesting. Jordan Peterson's speech leaves feminists speechless. Ooh, okay, that might be interesting. That's not Jordan Peterson, but he does look pretty bad. Yes, skip the ad, please. Thank you.
And this is, you get in trouble for refusing to call trans men and women by their preferred personal pronouns.
No, well, that's not actually true. I got in trouble because I said I would not follow the compelled speech dictates of the federal and provincial.
All right. So the speech dictates, which means that you're just acknowledging that there's people who, I'm just going to use my rhetoric. They won't like it, but they're deviant. Okay. They're different. They're they have a kind of a dysfunction. These are real truths about what this stuff is. So let's not just pretend it's not what it is. It is non-normal behavior. And the provincial government figured out that these people are real people and that they just have this little psychological quirk that means they don't feel very good about themselves if they're not being acknowledged as what they feel they are, which is not a miss or a mister. And they just want to be called something other than a miss or a mister, which I don't mind either. I don't really like, I like to be called maybe Lord or Ultimate Sir or Grand Poobah. There's lots of things I'd like. But yeah, I don't have enough. There's not enough of me as a group, so I don't get to have my own pronoun. But again, there's no any huge obligation here. It's just a matter of when you write a form or something. So I mean, how many times do you even type the word Mr. or Mrs.? It never even happens. You don't even have to mess with this. So him refusing when? Did he ever actually have a face-to-face circumstance where he actually had to do his refusing? I refuse to comply. I mean, did the little, person in a bunny suit show up and say, you have to call me Mr. Hoppy? Did that ever happen? No. So you just protested a law that would never be really relevant anyway.
Government, I actually never got in trouble for not calling anyone anything. That didn't happen.
You wouldn't follow the change of law, which was designed
not once it was law.
Discrimination.
No. That's what they said it was designed to do.
Okay, you cited freedom of speech in that. Why should your right to freedom of speech trump a trans person's right not to be offended?
because in order to be able to think, you have to risk being offensive. I mean, look at the.
And to be able to think, you have to risk being offensive. Wait a minute. No, thinking happens inside your head. You don't have to talk while you're thinking. Okay, you can think, and you can do it all in private. You can think all kinds of secret things and all kinds of, I wonder how many balls they have and blah, blah. You can do all kinds of shit like that, all inside your little head. You don't have to talk it. You don't have to say it as you're thinking it.
Conversation we're having right now. You know, like you're certainly willing to risk offending me in the pursuit of truth.
No, she's being kind of careful. She's not just saying, gee, you look like a naggy. You're worse than my mother. You're such a naggy woman. I mean, you really do wear dresses at home, right? I mean, you do that, don't you? Because that's what you look like. You look like somebody who needs a pronoun. You fucker. That's what I'd be saying to you. I mean, if the conversation was going to be honest.
Why should you have the right to do that? It's being rather uncomfortable.
Well, I'm very glad I put you on the spot.
Again, so it's just, what a false premise. As if this reporter doesn't measure her words and be kind of careful. And I'm sure in introducing him, she pointed out how he's a professor at blah, 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 and he did this, and he's a big hero now, and he's a big advocate for the blah, 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 blah. I'm sure she did all that crap, even though she just wanted to say, he's a whiny bitch.
You get my point. You get my point. It's like you're doing what you should do, which is digging a bit to see what the hell's going on. And that is what you should do. But you're exercising your freedom of speech.
Yeah, she's asking, she gets to say 4 words, and then you just sit there and tell her what she was going to say. So in a typical male, I know better. I know what you really want to say, dumb bitch. Okay, you don't need to tell me what you're thinking, because yes, you're just a dumb bitch, so you can't have any complex thoughts.
To certainly risk offending me, and that's fine. I think more power to you as far as I'm concerned.
So you haven't sat there and I'm just trying to work that out. I mean,
Gotcha.
You have got me. I'm trying to work that through my head. Yeah. It took a while.
It did. Yeah.
It took a while.
All right, so she's not the brightest, the biggest. She's not the sharpest. Yeah, that's it, the sharpest one.
You have voluntarily come into this studio and agreed to be questioned. A trans person in your class has come to your class and said they want to be called.
And that's never happened.
Exactly, it never happened. That's right. Nothing ever happened, because this wasn't a real thing that was a huge threat. It was just a little concession made to accept, to try to give people who are kind of hopeless, okay, because they can't be what they want to be, fully. They have to take some compromise in their life, some pathetic compromise often. And so we give them a little trinket and say, look, we understand you're suffering and you're not uncomfortable and, blah, 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 but there's not only so much we can do. So yeah, we'll call you whatever, Lord Poofter, if that's what you want. And, it's very inexpensive.
Would call them sheep.
So you would. So you could have changed your tune.
No, I said that right from the beginning. What I said at the beginning was that I was not going to cede the linguistic territory to radical leftists, regardless of whether or not it was
radical leftists. In what sense are they leftists? It's obviously a single subject. How can you sit there and call them leftists? So this means they're communist. They believe in electric cars. They are all. I mean, what's the point of this? Leftist. What does this have to do with being a leftist? Why is this leftism? I mean, all the important lefty subjects, and this is the one he's going to call everybody who, hey, if you believe in this, tranny stuff, you're an obvious commie.
But in law, that's what I said. And then the people who came after me said, well, you must be transphobic and you mistreat a student in your class. It's like, I never mistreated a student in my class. I'm not transphobic. And that isn't what I said.
But you've also called.
Well, what's the difference? You're making a big stink about a law that won't even bother you, and you're making the stink to say what? Let's not make any concessions to these disturbed people, because they don't have they might have clean rooms, because that's those kind of people usually are kind of neat freaks. But otherwise, they're, is all messed up.
Trans campaign as authoritarian, haven't you? I mean, isn't that
Well, only in the broader context of my claims that radical leftist ideologues are authoritarian, which they are.
You're saying someone who's trying to work.
So more just, like I said, it's unfortunate that these fringe issues are now being defined as core issues. So instead of being for economic justice, we now, the leftists all are pretending that the real battle is tranny sympathy. Not even a whole bunch of tranny rights, just a little bit of sympathy. Oh, fuck. So obviously these are all alt-righty kind of channels where they think they're making some very, oh, look at how he beat up that feminist. Even though they're not necessarily even feminist, who the hell knows? So this is all this stuff. Well, Peterson just covered in all this crap. Let's see. God, this is just horrible related videos. He obliterates far leftist host in debate. Of course, all these videos have ads on them. Yes. Clickbait. 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 Yeah, only take you 6 years.
It's the kind of guy people either love or hate. Clinical psychologist Jordan B. Peterson has been described as one of the most influential thinkers of our time, but also as...
I don't even know where they get this. Influential in what way? I mean, he's a fucking grammar school teacher, if anything. I mean, his book is written like it was written for grammar school kids or something. I mean, clean your room and try not to be poopy, and always wear clean socks.
Solicitation is reprehensible.
changes that effectively made it illegal not to call a trans person by their preferred gender pronoun, like they or they.
I'd like to encourage people struggling with this to be kind as their first impulse.
Kind.
Yes, no, that's just a terrible thing. We can't have any of that.
This is the excuse that social justice warriors use when they want to exercise control over what other people think.
Yeah, it's what they think. It's control over what they think. No, it isn't. Calling somebody they is controlling what they think. I mean, Jesus, is this pathetic? All right. Let's see if there's any other subject. This is just too stupid. Open borders leftist. Yeah, well, who wants to bother with an open borders loony? And Coulter should wipe them out. If you were in my room at the moment, I'd, what did he say? Slap you happy. Oh, isn't that interesting? Let's see. I can't believe they call these best comebacks. Amazing. I haven't seen anything like that from Jordan Peterson.
Culture. And I ain't seen nobody be a bigger snowflake than white men who complain. Mommy, they won't let us play and have everything we used to have under the old regime where we were right, racist and supremacists and dominant and patriarchs and hated gays and lesbians and transsexuals. That, yeah, you got to share. This ain't your world. This is everybody's world. And let me...
Good point. Jordan, let's have you jump in on this idea of what you see as the pernicious danger of groupthink.
Look at the way he sits even. I mean, he sits like an old British lady.
Think when it comes to ethnicity, when it comes to gender. Why do you think that's one of the primal sins in your view of political correctness?
Well, I think it's one of the primal sins of identity politics players on the left and the right, just to be clear about that. Personally, since this has got personal at times, I'm no fan of the identitarian right. I think that anybody who plays a game, a conceptual game where group identity comes first and foremost, risks an exacerbation of tribalism. It doesn't matter.
Oh, that's a great comeback. I mean, whoa, wow. Totally. Wow. Yeah. You won me over that great comeback. Another total exaggeration. All right. I mean, just pathetic. There's just nothing to watch on YouTube. It's just all crap. Spammy, crappy, shitty, crap after crap. And then some more crap. All right, so let's go back somewhere. Start over. Let's go back to Saint Jude kills kids. I wonder where Tommy's video is. See, it's you know, he should be in here, but I guess he didn't title it correctly. I don't think it shows up on my videos. Well, let me go see if there's somebody who made a video. Hey, that's a good idea. Go look on my index and see. Warble's on a lot. Metatricated mistake corrected. That means torturing a poor kangaroo, lost his freaking elbow. Oh, jeez. Thou art that guy. He's totally out, way gone. Oh, these are all boring. There's Paul's ego. Very fun. I don't know if I want to bother. I'll get angry or something. Oh, he's live on some other dopey thing. What's this? I am live on Insta 360. Jeez. I thought it was 420. All right, so that was absolutely terrible. Let's see if there's anybody here worth listening to. No, live chat now. Come on, window. No. There we go. Live chat, no. Hey, there's one of my videos. That's funny. Professor Lewin. How we can help young people build a better. Yeah, I don't think so. Oh, there's a Mike Bayou video, probably a song of some kind. Are electric cars really green? Yeah, that's another subject. Needs somebody to talk about. Oh, I heard that somewhere. Who did a video on that? Oh, the Young Turks. Yeah, they're so bad. But they have some kids segment now, right? So there's a guy with a, gay midget. So a guy and a gay midget are doing a kids segment. And, I guess where they talk about what did their best kid do today or this week? So anyway, some kid got $25,000 prize for the idea of having solar panels move with the sun. I mean, you just want to, I don't know what to do. My brain is just so disturbed by all this stuff. Like, nobody thought of that before. We need some kid to design it. Like, we can't figure out how to hook all the panels on a pivot and have them all move. It's just so stupid. It's like nobody thought of that before. Yeah, they have thought of that before. That's the way they should do it, but they can't do it on people's roofs because you can't go on the roofs to fix things or do this or that and clean and all the rest of it. You're not supposed to put panels on roofs. It's retarded. Oh, it's just so, as soon as I start thinking about it, just, my brain just says, oh, there is hopeless. That people are this stupid that they'll throw out half the energy of the solar panels doing this stupid individual roof thing when it's just so fucking stupid. When they could just put all the panels on a field somewhere and just let people buy into it. Let them just say, yes, I'll buy 12 of those panels. Thank you. And, it's so simple. Oh, fuck. So much cheaper. I mean, it's more than half. I mean, it really is. It's more than half. It's like people are getting 30% of the value putting the panels on individual roofs. And if they just did it right, you get 70% more energy for the money. I mean, 70% increase in what you're getting for your money. And we can't even do that as a society. We can't even provide that option, that choice. We're forced to say, oh, yes, I'm going to hire some assholes to put crap on my roof. It's so bad. All right, well, there's nothing really happening here, so no videos. So, where else can we go? Do we have anything else interesting here? Anybody? Hello, is there anybody on the internet? I don't know if I can find Tommy from the Bronx's channel. It's Tommy O Bronx 045 or something. Maybe he'll be in the comments here. Yeah, that might be a Tommy from the Bronx kind of thing. Come on. There's got to be more comments than this. Where's the more button? He's not giving me no more. Goddamn bastards. All right, so I can't even get more comments to show up on the frickin' thing. Irritating. So he does have a new channel, Tommy from the Bronx. And such. Oh, there's Tommy's response video. He's put a link to it. Well, that's nice. That's, it's kind of a polite thing to do. But it's a retarded video, so I probably shouldn't play it.
Yo, what's up, everybody out there? Tommy from the Bronx coming at you once again. I haven't made a video in a while, but here it is. But I'm responding to a video that Chris Anderson put out, a.k.a. Fake Sagan. You all know who he is. I'll put the link in the description box so you can go check out his video. And like I said, I responded to that video. It's a video called Saint Jude Kills Kids. And I'm like, what the fuck is this title? Let me fucking... I was watching videos anyway. I said, let me check this fucking thing out. And I heard him fucking saying what he had to say, and I fucking agree with him 100%. Saint Jude's is not accepting money from certain people.
Yeah, right. So they shouldn't have standards. So yeah, it's okay for like a politician too. They should accept money from anybody. It shouldn't matter. Who cares? Yeah, take money from any kind of deplorables. And that's no sign against your integrity in any way. Yeah, I think it is.
Organizations. And Chris is fucking right. How the fuck can you deny the fucking kids that are fucking dying the money that they're giving to them to help them survive?
Yeah, I know, but what percentage actually do that surviving thing and what percentage just get tortured?
What gives fucking St. Jude any fucking right to fucking not accept it? Of course they have their right.
Yeah, so of course they have a right. But what gives them a right except for the of course part? Of course.
But why would they?
Because it makes them look dirty to take money from dirty people. Duh.
It's like Chris said, the fucking devil himself came up and said, here's fucking $1 billion for fucking St. Jude to help the fucking kids. You fucking better take it, St. Jude. If the worst Islamic terrorist group fucking said, here's $1 billion.
Right. So if they do that to you, they start giving you money because they think you're pushing their agenda, even though you're absolutely opposed to their agenda and you just have a couple of things in common. So you have it's like me being a vegan or something. I'm doing my vegan stuff. And, but the other people just want people to be vegans because they really want there to be, I don't know, more animals or something in the wild and they want more suffering or something. And, you say, no, we don't share that notion at all. I'm not that, I don't want your money because we have completely different end games here. And so you're saying it shows more integrity to take dirty money than it takes to not take it?
Accept this money to fucking help cure these kids. St. Jude, you better fucking accept that goddamn money.
Don't have any principles. That's all you're saying. Don't stand for anything. Don't be above anything. Don't try harder. Just be as dirty and scummy as the rest of, as lazy as everybody else. Just take. Me.
Who the fuck are you to play fucking God? It's what you're doing. 10 fucking kids could have died already by not accepting that money. 10 kids could have been saved if you did accept it. What the?
And again, what purpose is the money? They're getting the money for what purpose, right? Do you think they really care about the cause? If they're just being used as a tool, if they're just being used as so somebody could say, look, I gave money to Saint Jude, so I'm obviously not an anti-Saint Juder or something. I love the Saint Jude, even though they're trying to kill Saint Jude. It's okay with you. That kind of duplicity is okay.
What the fuck is wrong? What the fuck is wrong with this fucking world? I'm getting sick and tired. What is fucking freedom?
I'll tell you what's wrong with it. Everybody's got lazy brain syndrome. You have it, right? You got your cap on backwards. You just pick up all the wrong kind of, you see some culture out there and you say, fuck the good culture. I'll just wallow in the shitty culture. That's what's wrong. People don't think very deeply. They just talk and talk and talk.
But choice outrides freedom of speech. That's what's happening. And all you freedom of choice motherfuckers who put up such a big fucking stink kills your fucking freedom of speech for others.
Well, what if, Tommy, their plan was, well, we'll make this statement and it'll make us look like we're anti, and that'll make us make more money from the anti-antiers. So the anti-antiers, who are big supporters, generally speaking, will give us even more money if we point out how shitty they are. So what if their master plan was that they actually are gaming you, bozo, like they're one step ahead of you, and have figured out that they can use this for their own propaganda purposes, that they can increase, they'll get in this news, they get talked about, which is great, get people thinking about little dead dying kids and shit. So it's all win for them. They win by being a little bit controversial. What if they already have that plan? What if that's what the board of directors were saying to each other? Then all your talk is just talk, ain't it?
I mean, people can't walk around with a brown bag in their hand because, hey, that's fucking, hey, the Mexicans do that. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't dress up for fucking Halloween anymore, whatever the fuck you want to be, because it's an insult to fucking people. You can't say certain words that I fucking use.
Yeah, well, it's a real problem, isn't it? I mean, there was like a South Park episode with Cartman dressed as a Nazi. It's a real problem. Hitler, it is a sort of a problem. You don't get it? Okay, fine. I don't get the whole thing. Why should people be dressing up in Halloween anyway? Why should I give a shit about dressing up rights? Shouldn't even be a thing.
Growing up, there was never a fucking problem or a problem today. Donald Trump said something about grabbing some girl's fucking pussy amongst fucking his friends.
Amongst his friends, one guy, right? And he's talking about his strategy in playing the world game. He's not talking about like some, oh yeah, one time I blah blah blah. No, he's talking about this is the way you treat women. Okay, you get real aggressive because they like it. They like a little rapiness. I mean, I can't believe anybody would be, well, I can believe there's some idiots stupid enough to sit there and say, yes, this is a defendable attitude for a president of the United States. Grab them by the pussy. Yeah, that's great. Sure, fine. Perfectly sensible. Very statesmanlike.
And get shit for it later. Who the fuck cares who's grabbing whose fucking pussy?
Yeah, well, if it was your daughter, you might care. I don't know. Maybe you would care. Maybe you wouldn't care. Okay. I would assume I would care.
15 years ago. Who the fuck cares who's a faggot 20 fucking years ago?
I don't know. Was Trump a faggot 20 years ago? Amazing. Why even was it necessary to say it that way? I mean, you can use faggot in a funny way, like, oh, you're such a faggot or something, but to say it the way he just said it is almost like that's when you're saying it because you mean it.
Let me fucking tell you something. Let me tell you.
Tell me something? Something? Okay, you go ahead. Tell me something.
If you keep choosing, you're going to keep...
Choose a rising. You made a choosing vacation.
Losing, okay? I'm telling you right now. Sure, it's great to have your fucking freedom to fucking choose and your freedom to fucking
Yeah, sure, it's great, but fuck that. Fuck the great stuff. We don't need none of that great stuff. Fuck that. We'll just have this mediocre gruel and crap instead. Yeah. Fuck principles. Fuck integrity. Fuck giving a shit about what your whole theme is supposed to be. Fuck the fact that your name is Saint Jude when it really should just be we like to torture kids or torture kids for money or we make lots of doctors rich. Yeah, who cares? It's like the veterinaries cleaning up on all the stray cats, just cleaning up, making that money, cutting them ovaries out and, cutting those balls off and making the big bucks.
What you want. But most of the fucking times the people are fucking choosing for you not to say what you want. So I don't get it. Oh, people, I don't want people to say faggot anymore. I don't.
So again, if your kid was a faggot, you wouldn't say, hey, you know what? That might not be a great name for my son. He's a nice guy. Leave him alone.
I don't want people to say all these fucking words anymore. Don't you fucking people who are doing that realize you are fucking hurting yourself in the fucking end? Because the same fucking people are going to fucking say something to you that you're not going to be able to fucking do anymore. And that's going to piss you off.
All right. Something they're going to take away from me. So they're going to take away what my calling them a faggot right. So I'll have some comparable right that I want to exercise where I want to go out on the street and call fat chicks tubby. Oh, damn. They're not going to let me do that anymore. Oh, that's right. I wasn't doing that. Oh, Jesus.
Don't you understand? What the fuck is going on with this world? Really? What the fuck?
So this is another crisis. So Saint Jude just makes a statement that, well, if we took some money from, whack jobs, hey, we didn't know. And yeah, we really don't want that kind of money. Whoa, whoa, the world civilization is coming to an end. Oh, the ocean's rising because of the, global mediocring statement making.
I just don't fucking get it. My father told me when I was like fucking 10.
Stay away from them homos, boy. Yeah, and them girly men and all them other grab and by the testicle guys.
Oh, I hate to see you when you're growing up when you're my age. My father's probably 50 at the time. I'm not at his age yet, but I see it. He's right. This fucking world's going to shit.
And it ain't going to shit because people say, calling people faggot is kind of rude. And it ain't going to shit because, like I said, institutions that are supposed to believe in something want to pretend like that's actually what they believe in. And so they make the pretense that, yes, we do stand for something, even though we really don't.
It's going to fucking shit. And I even feel more fucking sorry for all you fucking millennials out there who think you fucking got everything fucking right and perfect. You're fucking it up. You're fucking this place up.
They're not the ones. You're the fuckers fucking it up. You're the ones voting for a fucking compulsive liar. I mean, Donald Trump is a compulsive liar. He's lied about everything in his whole life. He got all the money from his father. He lost most of it. He's a completely unmade man. There's no man there. There's just a 13-year-old putsy retard. And you voted for that for president of the United States. And you're telling everybody else how they ruined the world? No, you're fucking kind as the ones that are fucking it up, buddy.
You better hope there's more fucking me and fucking Chris and fucking all these other fucking people out there that fucking stick around that fucking long, or fucking people, you millennials, change face and stop the shit. Really? Because you're...
Yeah, well, again, you're defending the shit as far as I can see. What are you defending? You're defending shitty behavior, and you're insulting and saying it's stupid to have something called a principle.
It's a fucking suicide. It's mass suicide for you fucking people. That's right. Not all. Not all. Hashtag not all. Because I know I'm getting shit for saying, oh, not all of us. Not all of us come from the Bronx. But you know what I'm fucking saying. Look at that good bullshit. Hashtag not all shit too. Can't stand that. And I have to fucking say that every fucking time I say something. Like if I say something, it's like all of you people, and I have to say not all. Of course, it's not.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, but yes, our language is kind of sloppy and messy, and I think all of us should make some effort now and then to qualify our statements and make sure we're not misunderstood, and what we're for and what we're really against, and blah 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 blah. I'm not for torture. I'm not, you should make a statement now and then to clarify because it's sort of needed, because there's all kinds of people trying to say they're for something when they're not really for it. They're saying, I have empathy and I'm sympathetic, yet they're the ones almost causing the problem that needs fixing. So it's like firemen saying, I want to put out fires, but they're always, on their weekends, they're starting fires.
Not at all, but I have to say it because of the fucking shit that's happening today. So fuck you, fuck every fucking buddy. I don't care. But just let me tell you something. When you fucking freedom of choice overweighs freedom of fucking speech.
So I don't know, freedom of choice overweighs freedom of speech. How could you even make this one make any sense? What are you talking about, Tommy? What the fuck is that crap? Well, make sure you get your finger in there. That'll make it clear what you're not saying. Just yes, there's a problem. I'm sometimes misunderstood. This is because you're incomprehensible sometimes, Tommy. Freedom of choice trumps freedom of speech.
It's a fucking problem. It's going to be a big fucking problem.
Big problem is idiocracy. You're fucking idiots. That's the big problem. People are idiots. They don't see how all we need to do is do things as efficiently as possible. Let's do the fairness thing. And we know that a bunch of the fairness stuff is obvious. Like the most, there's violations that are obvious violations. I mean, they stick out and glare at you and say, oh, that's an obvious unfairness. And so all we have to do is fix the obvious problems. But no. Let's see. Joe Rogan and Ted Nugent disagree over marijuana. I wonder who's on which side there. That's an interesting debate. Because as much as I'm for decriminalization, I'm just not for legalization because, I just think we need to have some rationality about, controlling what kind of crap people do before they do something serious like drive. And go to work where they might be driving a bus or flying a plane or something. Anyway, all right, black hole crap. Oh, there's some chicks, but they got weird names, so fuck it. Foreign language crap. Sky News, who cares? Some sort of Korean shit. I don't know what the hell that is. I don't know why I can't use the more buttons here. I can't get no more stuff. Kind of irritating. I'd like some more, please. Age of Reason. In jail, I met a man who stole Nugent's truck once. Man, they got all kinds of stories, people in jail. People in jail got all kinds of stories. Yeah, well, marijuana is really hard to test for. So, it gets out of your blood fairly slowly. It's a lot of problems. So I just see it as a problem because if if some pothead crashes into me in a car accident, and say he killed my wife or something, I'm going to try to sue his ass off, and I'm going to try to, I'm just saying it just creates another problem where we really can't just say you have license to be stoned on the road. I mean, it just doesn't make much sense. I know it's not the same as being drunk, but when I was stoned, I drove really slow and I was really afraid to drive fast. I was really afraid to. And so I know it does fuck you up enough where, I mean, some people, obviously some people, nothing. But it did fuck me up enough where perceptually everything seemed to be moving way too fast. And like I said, I wasn't disoriented. I wasn't, or falling asleep or something. But my perception was fucked up. And I don't see how that does anybody any good to have that shit driving around. All right. Anyway, I mean, all these people crying about their freedom. I feel sorry because they've never even experienced the kind of freedom you and I had growing up. You and I had growing up. The freedom to do what? What freedom did I have? I could go. I had the freedom to walk in the woods without worrying about getting, molested. Mostly. No, it was a borderline. There were people who would jerk off, to you every now and then. You'd be fishing and there'd be a guy jerking off over there and be like, there's a guy jerking off over there. That was pretty fucked up. But you didn't get actually molested or raped or anything, or kidnapped or whatever, which is a real threat now. But I'm just saying, what freedom did we have? What was the great freedom? Yeah, I remember I got grounded for saying fart when I was a kid. I got grounded for like 3 days for saying fart. So, I mean, it wasn't that free when you think about it. If you think about all the restrictions on your behavior and what you were allowed and not allowed to do or say, it wasn't so very free. So that's just so more of this whining about all the freedom you've lost. Just it's kind of amazing, really, when you think about it. I think it's just kind of amazing. I mean, I think the threat YouTube poses, I mean, the censorship thing is bad. I'm not for censoring people. I'm just, I'm not for closing down stuff and all that stuff. I wouldn't go that far. But I think there should be some kind of some sort of way for the system to say, I don't want to be, I do want some sort of I want to buy into a better system, something that's a higher standard. But anyway, so see if there's anything at all in the comments. Let's see. Not all. They're capitalists first and last. Talk shit, get paid. Please don't do Rogan and Nugent, please. I despise them both. Yes, I couldn't really face that one either myself. So, I told you, CC. It's not because they care about the poor kids. That is, they're using this shit for selective examples to reinforce their own preconceived biases. I don't know what all this. What is funny to me is all these guys all of a sudden acting like they give as much a shit about these kids with cancer. That clearly not why they are doing this. Yeah. And again, the statement is just kind of silly in the sense that you're saying it's bad for people to even pretend to have principles. Just, and that's pretty pathetic. Saint Jude donations go to IV lines for blood packs and masks that cover the mouth and so on. Not for the most part, not more researchers. Well, I don't know if I believe you, Bob. I don't know if you're a very good authority on what their money goes for. But I'm sure it pays for all kinds of hardware and medical professionals and blah, blah, blah. You can ethically accept blood money. Just demand the source entity to disclose how it was generated. Well, that's just idiotic. The source will say, I made people an offer they couldn't refuse. like the South Park episode where they had to rename veal into dead baby calf. Yeah, well, when I'm really for wherever we can throw any kind of honesty into things, fine. That's why I'm partly not too sympathetic with some of the demands of the transsexuals and such, because there's a certain truth, and the truth is what I'm for. I'm not for deceiving people, and I think it's great. You can be a woman and all that kind of stuff, and I'm not opposed to it or anything. I might even not bother me, but why lie about it? Why play this game that there isn't a real history? I don't like that kind of shit. I mean, if we can be forced to be honest, I would be for it. If we could make an honesty bomb that forced everybody to be honest, I'd be for it. I mean, a lot of stuff that'd be hard for any of us to have to accept, but and especially starting life. I wish I had been told early in my life that something better than honesty is the best policy. It would be better just to have some idea that, look, there's no decency in living lies, so don't get into living any. Don't go there. Don't let lies get in your way. If you feel something, deal with it. If there's something wrong, deal with it. Don't live a dishonest existence. There's so much of our lives is just so fucking robotically dishonest. I mean, just having to it's not just being polite, but you know what I mean. It's just all the I sort of want to be able to wear it on our sleeves, so to speak. What we are should kind of be easily identified. So, and I know that would create an awful lot of dysfunction, but I just kind of like the honesty of it. I'd like to know what other people are doing with their life and with their life capital, their influence. What kind of crap are they talking, and what kind of bullshit are they facilitating? All right, so I don't think there's anything I need to deal with in these comments that are all that horribly interesting. Sorry, no offense. I don't see anything horribly interesting. All right, so yeah, there really wasn't much commenting, actually. It was nice that the troll thing got stopped, so that was good. So anyway, I guess I'll move on and such. So yeah, so there will be future videos on this fairness idea once I start writing the basic political platform issues, and they're just going to be focused around this idea that we all should kind of earn what we get, deserve it as best we can make the world. Or with the world, I mean, the Clint Eastwood line in the end of the movie, right? Deserve has nothing to do with it. But really, it should be our mission to try to make deserve have everything to do with it. Because that turns out to be, you end up creating a better society that way. So anyway, I think. So till the next time. Sorry for the. Yeah, I just I gotta find some better some better software, some better something. Because yeah, the frame rate is terrible on this camera. The program that worked really good is just unfortunate. It started eating all my hard drive space, and I haven't found a fix for it. So until I fix it, not much I can do. But it seems like there's some other issue here too, but whatever. Well, we'll see. See what I get around to fixing and what I don't. So till the next time, and such, so forth and whatnot.